Hello everyone, Captain Viking here, and today we'll be tackling how to level a summoner. By this I mean taking on a completely new character all the way to maps in an SSF or solo self-found scenario without any trading. With necromancers being the undisputed king of summoners, or queen in this case, it's no surprise that we'll be using a necro ourselves for leveling. Compared to any other Ascendancy, necro is just leagues above in terms of innate damage, scaling, and quality of life, as well as being the Ascendancy that will require the absolute cheapest items to be strong. Strength stacking is still going to be one of the strongest zombie builds, so we'll be using a generic strength stacking summoner skill tree. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below, but you can use this tree or use one you've picked out. It really won't make much of a difference at all. You'll start as a witch in the Twilight Strand. After you've beat Hillock, go into town to get raised zombies as your gem reward. You'll want to look for wands with blue-blue-red or blue-blue-blue sockets. You'll also want to either get Stormblessed Mines or Explosive Trap as your main skill for getting through the coast, the Mudflats, and Tidal Island. Halo Rake should die very easily to either of those skills. After this, you can log out and log in to save yourself a portal scroll, although be wary about doing this at league starts due to the dreaded queue. In this case, just go back to the character selection screen. If you have the sockets for it, you should be leveling the raised zombie gem as soon as you get it. It won't do much until later, but it's vital that you start leveling it up. You'll get Frostblink as a quest reward, and I'd suggest getting Summon Phantasm support and Frostbomb as the other two rewards. Don't forget to check the vendors for items with the sockets we mentioned above. I don't personally like getting Summon Raging Spirits as I replace it with Summon Skeletons very shortly after. Frostbomb gives us a decent enough AoE spell that you can drop and move to go relatively quickly, using Stormblessed Mines or Explosive Trap to help kill off blue packs quickly. If you have the sockets for it, try linking Arcane Search with Frostbomb and your Mine or Trap skill with Summon Phantasms. This setup will carry you all the way to Brutus in the upper prison. Don't forget to do the Trial of Ascendancy in the lower prison though. After you finish Brutus, log out and log in to save time getting back to town. This is where you get Summon Skeletons and replace either Explosive Trap or Stormblessed Mines with it. Ideally, you want to have Summon Skeletons linked with minion damage and melee splash. If you can't afford this setup or don't have the correct sockets, you can replace melee splash with something like Summon Phantasms momentarily, but you really want to have this set up as soon as possible. You can also have Raised Zombie linked with Summon Phantasms to get a nice boost to your ever-growing army of minions. Frostbomb can be dropped or used with bosses to prevent regen. I'd recommend dropping it at this point though. Frostblink has been buffed in 3.10 Delirium, so you can choose whether to keep using it or switch to Flame Dash. Again, I'd personally recommend using Flame Dash as the extra charges are very valuable. Keep moving through the story and don't forget to do the ship graveyard cave. You can then use the waypoint in the Cavern of Anger to spawn next to Fairgraves in the ship graveyard waypoint and complete the quest. At this point you should log to go back to town. You'll get a skill point reward and the gem Flesh Offering, giving us a small boost to clear. For now I'd suck at it for leveling, but don't worry about using it too much. Your skeletons will make short work of Marvel, just keep moving around so you don't get hit too much, and onwards to Act 2. A quick side note here, your zombies will die pretty frequently until about the middle of Act 4 to the start of Act 5. This is normal, so don't worry too much about it. Use your skeletons to your advantage here as they can be resummoned instantly. As soon as you get access to minion life support, I'd highly suggest considering linking it with your raised zombies once you have a 4-link up and running. In Act 2, do the Great White Beast quest to get a second Quicksilver Flask. The boss is going to be in a sub-area called the Den, located in the Old Fields. After that, head straight to the Chamber of Sins by going to the crossroads and heading north. Don't forget to hit the Trial of Ascendancy, located in the 2nd level. Kill Fidelitas, grab the Baleful Gem, and log to get back to town. Grab Desecrate here, and go kill Kraden in the rightmost map. Once again, log after this to get back to town quickly. At this point I'd suggest waypointing to the crossroads and going south to Fellshrine Ruins. You'll need to go to the crypt either way to get a Trial of Ascendancy, so might as well finish the right side of town all in one go. No need to do the quest in the crypt, just the trial. Log after getting it and back to town we go. Go all the way to the left, and here you can decide if you want to kill or help a Lyra. Getting the elemental resistances and mana regen is nice for leveling, but ultimately we want the 2 extra skill points. I usually get the skill points myself, but it's really up to you. In the same map, go all the way to the left and get and use the emblem on the magical symbol on the wall. You can go to Act 1 when you have a break and get an extra skill point. Find the entrance to the Weaver's Nest and slay that nasty spider. Log after you do and get Death Mark support from the quest reward. We'll really only use it if you get an early 4-link, but it's the best reward out of the lot. Now go back to the riverways, and this time go north to the wetlands. Kill Oak and find the waypoint. If you killed all 3 bandits, go to town and get your reward at this point. From here on out it's pretty smooth sailing, as your skeletons and zombies should take care of everything. Go all the way to the Val Orosol and kill it to get into Act 3. Get to the Act 3 town and go straight for the crematorium to both find Tolman and get the Trial of Ascendancy inside done. You'll fight Piety and get Tolman's bracelet. After this, just log to go back to town. You'll get the sewer keys and access to the Convocation Gem. If at any point you manage to get a 4-link, I'd recommend linking the following skeleton setup: summon skeletons, minion damage, melee splash, and melee physical damage. Your 3-link race zombie should be linked to minion damage and melee physical damage or minion life if you feel like they're dying too much to your liking. It is considered normal to be resummoning them as they aren't tanky enough yet, so don't be worried on that front. You can also buy and use the Aura Gem Pride to give your minions extra damage. Keep progressing through the storyline, passing the sewers and marketplace. Get the waypoint in the marketplace and then go to the catacombs to get a Trial of Ascendancy. Log after you get it and teleport straight back to the waypoint to go all the way to the battlefront. Find the waypoint that's usually in the middle left area of the map, and then go all the way to the left to get the ribbon spool before going to the docks. In the docks, find the thematic sulfite and then just log. Teleport straight to the battlefront and go to the upper right this time, to the Solaris Temple. Get through that and obtain the Infernal Tulk. With this, go to the sewers and burn through a blocked wall to get to the Ebony Barracks. Get the waypoint, beat Gravicious, and grab the waypoint in the Lunaris Temple before heading to town. Here you get access to Ray Spectre. You're going to want to get some Tentacle Miscreations from the Lunaris Temple level 2 to give you some extra range DPS. However, don't spend too much time on this. Your Spectres are going to be very weak until later on, and by this point your zombies should be starting to come online soon. So for now, just Ray Spectre anything really when they die and keep your zombie and skeleton horde going strong. Beat Piety, go to the gardens, don't forget to do the last Trial of Ascendancy for normal lab, and then head on to fight Dominus. Here you can choose to run the aqueducts a couple times if you want an extra level or maybe some better items, but after this just keep running through Act 4. Your skeletons and zombies will absolutely destroy any boss they come across at this point, so just keep looking out for possible upgrades in the form of a 4-link or better life and resist gear. Any chance you get to upgrade the movement speed on your boots is a game changer, so be on the lookout for those as well. I always personally do the resto before KM, but both of these areas should give you no trouble. I'll specify what links you should be using at this point with both your zombies and skeletons to make sure that there's no confusion on whether you're running the most optimal build. Race Zombie should be linked with minion damage and multi-strike, with minion life as the 4th link if you have a 4-link. Summon Skeletons should be linked with melee splash and multi-strike, with minion damage as a 4-link if you have a 4-link. You can also choose to do the normal lab at any point during this act, although I'd recommend doing it before either KM or Dureso. Once you do it, grab Mindless Aggression for some nice minion buffs. Running Bone Offering is also something I'd recommend for the nice survivability boost to your zombies, as they'll start to be your main clear by now. Don't forget to grab a Karen Golem, and just steamroll over Malachi to go into Act 5. Act 5 definitely gets a bit more dangerous for you, as you can get shotgunned by some pretty insane damage as well as bleeds and punctures. If you're having some survivability issues, try to summon skeletons ahead of you more often. Other than that, this act should be a breeze. Any essences with minion damage should be used on your wands to get a nice damage boost, and just keep trucking onto Kitava. You still shouldn't try to search for a specific spectre such as slave drivers. Your specters are still way too squishy, so you'd be wasting too much time trying to get them every time you lost one. Once you've beaten Kitava, do Lily Roth's quest, as it is in a nice farming area and also unlocks her as a skill gem vendor. You can choose to farm the Twilight Strand a bit for better gear, to cap any resist you got once you beat Kitava. At this point, I'd buy Feeding Frenzy and link it with your Golem to get both aggressive minions and a nice damage boost. You should be comfortably clearing by using Convocation to summon your zombies to where you are, and occasionally using skeletons when you have tougher rares. Again, I should really stress that by this point, you really should be playing with as close to capped rest as you can get. Monsters start doing much higher elemental damage and you need bigger mitigation to be able to move quickly. Other than the lab trial in the prison, you're all set to absolutely destroy this act. The only thing that might give you slight trouble is the Brine King's AoE water shell attack, but we can easily counter with a horde of skellies, and by resummoning zombies. Keeping a bone offering is also a big help here, but other than that, on to Act 7 we go. In Act 7 I'll usually go to the crypt first to grab the map we'll be using in the Chamber of Sins. This makes the progression more linear with less backtracking. Don't forget to do the Trial of Ascendancy located in the crypt, and then go forth to the Chamber of Sins. Use the map on the map device to kill Maligaro and get access to the second level of the Chamber of Sins. Here, once again, don't forget to do the Trial of Ascendancy, but other than that, just keep pushing forward. When you're in the Northern Forest, I always go to the Dread Thicket first, to grab the Fireflies and defeat Grithkul. Once again, this is mostly to make her progression more linear and simple. Once you have them all that's in your way is the Act boss, Arakali, and then on to Act 8. Act 8 has two diverging paths that eventually end up with the same boss encounter. Nothing complicated though. You should also start thinking about doing the second labyrinth for more Ascendancy points and grabbing Unnatural Strength. After getting to Unbeating Dodre, you'll have two paths. I usually take the one to the right and you'll end up in the Quay. Here you'll want to do the Skill Points quest as it's right in your path. Just hug the wall closest to the ocean and you'll eventually come across a small arena where you'll revive Tollman as a zombie and kill him. Get through both the Grain Gate and the Imperial Fields to reach the Solaris Temple. Beat the boss here to get the quest item and log. Collect rewards and sell stuff in town and then waypoint to Dodre's cesspool again, but this time take the other path. Go through the Grand Promenade into the bathhouse where another Trial of Ascendancy awaits you. You want to go to the Lunaris Concourse, not the High Gardens. In the concourse, find the Lunaris Temple map and get to the boss to get the quest items. With both items in your inventory, go to the Harbor Bridge from the Lunaris Concourse and go fight Lunaris and Solaris. You're so close now, only 2 acts left to go. At this point, you should have both your zombies and skellies in 4 links, at the very least to have comfortable clear. If you haven't done the crew lab, go do it now and grab Unnatural Strength. Act 9 is a very straightforward act. You start in the Blood Aqueducts, a great place to farm up some gear or levels if either is lacking. I don't recommend trying to farm a Tabula Rasa here, as getting all the divination cards can take an extremely long time depending on RNG. Keep going through the areas until you get to the foothills, where you'll take a slight detour to the Boiling Lake before logging and waypointing back to the foothills to keep progressing. In the tunnel, there's a Trial of Ascendancy, but other than that, just keep going forwards. Once you reach the quarry, you'll need to go to the refinery before you can keep on progressing. With a quest item from the refinery, go back to the quarry and you're set to finish up Act 9 by beating the Depraved Trinity. Welcome to Act 10. Act 10 is by far the shortest act in the game. Once you reach the Rabbit Square, just go to the Torch Courts and the Desecrated Chamber to defeat upgraded Innocents and get the quest item to unlock Kitava. Don't forget the last Trial of Ascendancy in the campaign from the Ossuary, but you don't need to do the quest in there. I would suggest doing the Control Blocks Valenta quest for a skill point before taking one of 2 paths. If you think you can handle the Merciless Lab now, then go do it. You'll need to rebalance your assists after Kitava, so getting it done before that can be nice. If you feel a bit too squishy, then don't worry about it. After you kill Kitava, you can focus on getting much better gear and more levels to make the Merciless Lab extremely easy. With that, congratulations on beating all the acts and getting to maps. I'd suggest typing /passives to find any important quests you've missed and doing them. This is definitely a good point to use a trade website to get some very cheap but powerful upgrades and start mapping. As a point of reference, this was basically my league start for the 3.10 Delirium League, and it carried me all the way to maps on a 4-link zombie setup. I hope you found this in-depth leveling guide helpful. You can of course play any class and follow this, just ignore anything summoner specific. I'd love to know what you think about leveling. Love it? Hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.